Good morning. I feel really privileged to participate to today's conference because the special time we live together, that period of COVID-19 forces us to address the true challenges of humanity. And while we are all focused today on dealing with, on recovering of the COVID-19, on the associated recession, we shouldn't lose sight of the true challenges of the time. And the big tsunami wave which is coming at us is climate change. And as a COVID-19, it addresses the way our progress, our development should be sustainable, on the way we live with nature, because nature can block our society with things like virus. On climate change, it's very simple. Climate change is all about carbon emission, or mostly about carbon emission. And carbon emission is mostly about energy, the way we produce it and the way we consume it. And when we look at the whole equation, it goes beyond energy. Actually, energy and digital are a basic human right for every human being on the planet. Because energy is a passport to a decent life, and digital is a passport to inclusion. Inclusion through education, inclusion also into the economic cycle and the economic life of any country. And when we look at this challenge, which is to supply energy and digital to all on the planet, it's still a huge challenge. And we believe that the chance of our generation is that we can bridge progress on sustainability for all because of technology evolution. Let's look at the challenge first. Still 2 billion people on Earth don't have a decent access to energy, therefore don't have an access to decent life. And at the same time, we know we have to provide much more energy to all of those people. We also need to divide by 2 the carbon emissions if we want to stay in a trajectory of temperature increase of 1.5 degrees. Therefore, the equation of sustainability for all to have access to energy and for the planet not to see its temperature rising is to do everything we do in our life, the way we live, the way we work, with a level of efficiency which is multiplied by 4. But there are some good news here. While we are the first generation to understand the need to act on both fronts, we are also the generation that benefits from technologies that can change the equation. And the first disruption comes from digital. The episode 1 of digital was about connecting people to people, and it completely transformed the way we live and work together. The episode 2 of digital, which has just started, is about connecting things to things, and all the things around us to us people, to make them more human-centric and far more efficient. Digital disrupts efficiency. It decreases the cost of efficiency and it makes the implementation much faster. Think about it, the combination of IoT, everything connected, boosted by 5G, more than 1/3 of the application of 5G are efficiency related. The capacity with huge data centers to accumulate data on which we can run AI analytics software algorithm to make that we save everywhere we consume energy and we share much better the resources around us. But digital goes beyond that. It creates a better future. A future which is human-centric, a future which is smart and better shared. Smart homes, smart buildings, smart manufacturing, and of course, smart cities, of which a number are being built in India. The second technology disruption, and it seems a little bit less intuitive, is electricity. Well, electricity was born a long time ago, but it was not the same electricity. Today, electricity is renewable, it's natively green, it's decentralized, very close to the point of consumption. and it mixes really completely, it merges, it morphs together with digital. So you're going to see in the very near future a massive growth of electrification and electricity. And this electricity will be mostly produced from renewable sources, solar and wind. And electrification also builds a green future. Speak about solar, speak about microgrids, speak about net zero buildings, speak about electric vehicle, which is probably the biggest energy migration we've known since the inception of electricity, going from fossil fuel vehicles to all electric vehicles. So digital and electric combined together are the path to smart and green. We've worked over the past years integrating those technologies together and exchanging with universities, institutions, other companies to build a scenario, a trajectory that would bridge energy for all and sustainability. And we see a path which allows really to combine both, but it has to combine three things together. The first point is to make sure, leveraging digital, that everything we do is 30% more efficient with digital efficiency. And because digital is much cheaper and because it's much faster to implement, we have to accelerate the retrofit of existing buildings by at least a factor of 2. We have to renovate twice more than we do today. The second part of the equation is that you're going to see in the next coming 20 years twice more electricity than you see today. Today, electricity is only 20% of the energy we consume. In 20 years' time, it's going to be 40%. And remember, for instance, our cars that will go electric. And the last point is to make sure that this electricity is not fossil produced, but renewable produced. So you're going to see a proportion of the electricity we consume multiplied by 6 on transitioning to renewable. Wind, solar, everything will be good to make the electricity green. So save, electrify, decarbonize, those are the three major elements of this energy transition that we need to operate together. In all of this universe, the role of our company, of Schneider, is very simple. We see our purpose to empower all to make the most of our energy and resources, bridging progress and sustainability for all. At Schneider, we call this Life is On, because energy brings access to a decent life to all, and doing with energy in a very different manner, smart and green, is a path for the planet to have a sustainable future. And we see our mission in innovating new technologies, in imagining that conversion of digital and electricity, and be the digital partner in sustainability and efficiency of the communities where we operate and live. I feel today very privileged to participate in our conference also because at Schneider we've been investing and recruiting many people in India for the past many years. We've been innovating, doing R&D. And I realized today that we are touching lives in India every day and bringing sustainable digital solutions to many, many places. I'd like to share a few examples to make it more real. First, in the building space, how many buildings are built every day or every week in India? Well, this is one building we did in Trivandrum with UST Global, where our customer, our partner, wanted to do a flagship green building, and by designing from the beginning that building electric and digital, savings in carbon, in energy, and the attractiveness of the building are the top. But our cities are a sum of buildings, and each building participates to make our cities green. Another example is data centers. While we are digitizing our lives, while we are connecting the objects around us, all of this is generating data which is getting stored on which we develop computing in those huge data centers. And think about India, which is certainly one of the most competent nations in the world in terms of digital. We need in India a lot of data centers. And those data centers consume a lot of energy because there again, data is electricity. So we've been working on innovating a lot in India to reduce the consumption per unit of data computed and stored. And NetMagic is one of the other examples of a data center where really we push together down the consumption and still make sure that the country is getting digitized. Going into another example, water. Water is the other scarce resource of this century. And we've been working hard in Dholera to make sure that we would create a water network that would be zero waste and where there would be 100% of water recycling for maximum usage. Water and energy go together. If you have energy, you can produce water, but both are very scarce resources. And finally, all of this, manufacturing, water, data center, building, integrate into our cities, where not only we all participate individually to save, but we have to better share the resources of, and particularly energy. That's what we've done in Atal Nagar, creating one of the first smart cities in India where all the system, the grid, the electrical grid, the water, every building and every resource is getting integrated into our software platform so that all the citizens of the city can share and get a much better transparency on what is happening. So the other thing that we've learned during COVID-19 is that resiliency should be at the top of the agenda. While many of us were locked down, where we had to operate in very complicated situations, the fact that our environment was digitized allowed many of us to keep working, to keep operating, to keep monitoring facilities so that our society could keep going and could keep operating. But what we've learned also is that we can speak about sustainability, we can speak about technology and resilience, but the places that managed to go through and reacted the best are places where people were empowered, where people of the community, of the local plant, of the local city were in a situation to react. And that reveals that you cannot isolate sustainability from technology. They go together, but you have to add one essential pillar, which is making sure that people are included in this revolution, that people on the ground feel in charge to drive this major energy and sustainability transition. So at Schneider, we've worked a lot with authorities, communities to make sure that while we are bringing to the world those revolutionary technologies that combine together, we would at the same time skill and train people so that they would be able to deploy them, maintain them, and make them better on the field. So over the past 10 years, we've trained 130,000 youngsters and people on the ground in India from different trades into being those technologists of the future capable of making energy, electricity, more digital and greener. Those 130,000 people have worked together and have developed the systems that bring access to energy to 4 million people over the past 10 years. And we have also developed unique systems to make sure that electricity is reliable in more than 100 million homes in India. We feel a huge responsibility, to participate in this energy transition. But we are also excited because India has a unique advantage. It has scale like not many other countries. It has a young population ready to embrace change with ambition. It has a unique capability in digital. This IT nation can really now address sustainability with digital in an unparalleled manner. And finally, India has this unique genius for frugal innovation, the capacity to tackle very complicated issues with very innovative and cost-performing solutions. We at Schneider, we feel privileged to be participating on our 28,000 people in India who do R&D, manufacturing, open the world market with exports, are completely committed to make sure that India bridge progress on sustainability in this energy transition for more sustainability. Really happy to be with you today. Thank you all.